All right, hey guys, welcome in. It's College Sportscast with Talkin Kentucky. We have Coleman Scott Caden on with us from Talkin Kentucky today. We're kind of doing a Big Blue New Year's Eve post-game special between the two shows. And if we're doing this right, this should be on both channels, their Facebook channel and their Facebook page through Talkin Kentucky, and also through the 4 streams that we do at College Sportscast on our Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and channel. So, hey, Caden, hey, Coleman, how are you guys?
Doing well, and I think you're correct. I think it is coming through our Facebook page too. So we should be on a lot of different stuff here. So hopefully we have some people jump on and talk the good and the bad, and there's plenty of both. So
Right. Yeah, there's a little bit of both on both teams, I would say. So it was a big day for Kentucky fans. There was a choice to make, actually. Which one you were going to do. They were actually played at the exact same time. You had Louisville and Kentucky, which has always been one of the huge rivalry games in college basketball, period, playing today at 11 Central Time, noon Eastern Time. And then at the very same time, you had the Music City Bowl, Iowa and Kentucky coming on and playing. So I know you guys just answered this. But who did you watch today mostly, or did you back and forth?
me personally, I intended to mostly watch the football game actually. But then seeing how that started going, I ended up mostly watching the basketball game. But I didn't do the split screen thing. I was gonna have like my computer or my iPad up, and then have one up on the TV too. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you could do this. That was going to be my method, but I ended up just taking the old switching between the channels kind of approach, and yeah, I ended up mostly watching the basketball game, and glad I did because that ended up being the better one to watch today. So.
Yeah, you're right about that. Caden, I think you said you watched mostly the basketball game too, right?
Yeah, I watched mostly the basketball game, and I had CBS on the TV for the basketball game, and momentarily I had ESPN on my phone, but at halftime I saw that the score was 21-0, so I quickly decided I probably would not finish the football game.
Well, so I stuck it out with the football. I've been a little on the irritated side with the basketball program the last week and a half, 2 weeks, just to be honest with you. And I was just so, if they laid an egg against Louisville today, I just couldn't watch it. I really couldn't. I mean, Louisville is now 2-12 and probably the worst Louisville team I've ever seen in my entire life. So, I mean, really,
I'm still trying to figure out whether they are that bad or if we have gotten better. I still can't figure out which one it is.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty bad now, I'm telling you. I mean, I've seen them earlier in the year, and they had like 13 points with like 14 minutes to go in the second half in one game. I mean, that's atrocious. Robert Rhodes is in our chat room. He said he watched the basketball game. Robert's on with us a lot. So I just wanted to throw that up real quick. I appreciate that. I was, like I said, I've been a little upset with the whole basketball thing. I don't know if y'all listened. Did y'all hear Matt Jones' like 14-minute monologue on the state of the program like a couple of days ago?
Post game.
I did, yeah. He did a couple.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, well, he did one after the UCLA game, and then he did one after, of course, after we lost to Missouri too. And yeah, I thought he said a lot of great stuff in there. I mean, I agreed with a lot of it. A lot of it was spot on. So
I'm not. I mean, I pay attention to KSR. I'm not that big of a Matt Jones fan, and I'm just going to be honest with you, but he really did. He really did hit the nail on the head with his monologue on kind of the state. I think it was the one after the Missouri game. I believe is the one. It was like 14 minutes long. I'm pretty sure.
KSR posted a video of him talking, basically summarizing those points he made in that post game, and I think I shared it to our page at one point and made some great points there too.
So Josh Hart's on. I know he's tied with you guys in Talkin Kentucky, and he says L's down. So I wanted to show that as well.
L's down forever. Yep.
Yeah, he double dipped our show the other night. He called in twice, so that was
probably called in twice. Those are our first 2 calls in one day. Yeah, from Josh. So, and he said L's down both times. Pretty sure. So yeah.
Well, I figured you guys would like to see that, so I threw that one up there. The football today, gosh, I mean, it's just an opportunity slipped away, really. I thought pound for pound, ours played just as well as Iowa's defense, who is a top 5 defense in the country. And I mean, if you look at the stats, they may have played just a tad better. Do you realize that Iowa 0 for 11 on third down conversions today?
I was just going to pull up that stat. I was just going to shout that out. Yeah, I mean, we play well enough to win defensively, as we did most games this year. If we didn't have Brad White, I don't know what we would have done this year. I don't know if we would have even been bowl eligible. But, I mean, we played well enough to win today defensively for sure.
We did, absolutely. And the biggest take that I have with the football is, man, we took some huge steps back on the offensive side of the ball this year. I'm hoping, and I know that he's supposed to, and I'm hoping Coleman does come back and we can find a little magic from 21, I guess, because the offense, I mean, I'm looking at the game today and I'm watching the game, and I noticed some things. So where's the slant routes? Where's the post routes? Where's the tight end routes where you dump it down to a tight end? I don't think we threw it to a tight end one time today, not once.
No. Well, we had a lot of tight ends opt out of this game, which was a concern for me going into the game, is that we had several either that were injured or opted out. I mean, it was Keaton Upshaw is in the transfer portal. Is that right? So he's not even on the team anymore. I don't think Brendan Bates played. So
Brendan Bates had a surgery or something.
He had surgery. That's right.
Yeah.
Then there's another one that just opted out, I think, if I remember correctly. But that's a big part of our game. And I don't think Vince Merrill ended up calling the plays today. I think it was actually our wide receiver coach, Scott Woodward, that called the plays. And Vince called a lot of the plays. I thought we were going to see a lot of tight end stuff. That being said, though, even though we didn't, kind of mix it up like that, I do think we were more aggressive offensively than we were all season. I mean, we threw a lot of passes down the field, at least, which maybe if we had Will Levis, we connect on some of those. And we're able to, and if we have C-Rod too, maybe we're able to open up our offense even more. But the play calling, I thought, was more aggressive ultimately, despite us not even having an offensive coordinator. So,
yeah, I mean, listen, I thought Scott Woodward, as far as the offense looking better than it has, the last 4 or 5 games under Scangarillo. I mean, I looked better. I just noticed when I'm watching it, they're pounding their tight ends. That's the only plays. They had about 2 or 3 big plays, I guess, on the offensive side of the ball that you would consider big plays, and they were all tight end plays.
Yeah, I think it was 2 things. I think it was really 2 things that beat us today, where Iowa's tight ends, then our pick sixes, a couple of pick sixes that we threw. If it weren't for those pick sixes, those are completely on Destin Wade, right? I mean, you can't blame that on the
They are.
coaches. I mean, that was his decision making there, and unfortunately, it's in his first collegiate start. He has to go against the best defense in the country, so that sucks. If it weren't for that, we're in that game. So it didn't help though that we had so many opt-outs. I mean, the tight ends are our deepest position. We had those opt-outs, or people that are just injured. Then Will Levis and C. Rod opting out just didn't help us today at all.
Speaking of opting out, Brad, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think about this whole opt-out thing? Whenever they're not injured or anything, they just want to opt out to protect their draft stock. Because I saw a lot of people complain about this on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter or anything, you'll know I've been tweeting a lot of stuff about Alabama and the stuff that they've been saying on the whole opt-out, and Will Anderson and Bryce Young and Nick Saban's been on this too. He had a video press conference thing leading up to the Sugar Bowl, I think yesterday, where he was asked about it. And, you just don't for me, you don't quit on your team. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see your team out through the end. That, to me. Now, if you've got nagging injuries or you have a real injury that's keeping you out, but if you could have some nagging injuries that's been going on all season long that you've been trying to play through and things like that. That's what happened to Brendan Bates, by the way. He had an injury in the preseason, actually, in practice, and played the entire season. Mm-hmm. And played the entire season with that injury, and just said he just didn't do it anymore. And I understand that. Those type of deals, I understand, but I don't know, man. Caden, the whole opt-out thing, to me, if you're gonna be a teammate and you're gonna sign up to be on this team, then you should see it out and see it through.
I completely agree on that. Yeah, we definitely agree.
I mean,
on that. I mean, and I think I saw this for the first time on your page, Brad, on College Sportscast page. This video of Nick Saban talking about his opinion on opting out, and the whole rationale of preparing yourself for the NFL draft. He was like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, if you opt out, the best way to prepare yourself for the NFL draft is to play football. You get 12 opportunities
and to play the big games.
To play the big
and he
games.
was like, and play the big games.
Presumably, a bowl game is going to be is a big game, right? And I think that with the absence of Scangarello, in my opinion, with the absence of Scangarello and having the aggressive play calling that we had, it could have been an opportunity for Will Levis to improve his draft stock and C-Rod to improve his draft stock with opening up the offense, not having an offensive coordinator, and just going out there and letting loose. And what do you have to lose at that point? So
my Levis played through some injuries this year. I think, he took a beating. The offensive line, honestly, he took a beating all year long. There's a part of me that says, okay, I kind of understand that. C-Rod, I really don't. He missed the first 4 games because of the suspension. And you would think that he would want to finish the year. That's just my take on it. And then Carrington Valentine, I don't even know where to go with that one. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Like he opts out and says he's going to enter the draft.
Well, he had that statement. He said he thinks he's accomplished everything there is to accomplish in college football, which is just not the case. He's a great player, but that's just not true. And then there was rumors he was going to transfer to Louisville, which would arguably be the opposite of entering the NFL draft. So I don't know where that came from. That confused me too, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, exactly what to think about that one. So I really there's things with when it comes to that I'm just not sure about. So Kentucky did have some opt outs, and to be honest with you, this is probably one of the first years that we've had some opt outs.
I think in the Mark Stoops era, this is the first time that well, that's not true. This is the first, like, I guess, year that I would count us having opt outs. Our only other opt out before this year, I believe, was when Kelvin Joseph opted out, but he was kind of pushed out because of his like team chemistry, sort of like attitude toward the team wasn't that great. He was kind of a toxic person in
Right.
the locker room. So they kind of pushed him out, I think, and that was just sort of a mutual decision. But as far as like players themselves deciding to opt out, I think this is like the first time we've had true opt outs in the Mark Stoops era.
So I've done just so you guys know, I did a preview show with NFL Outdated, who the guy that is on NFL Outdated is an Iowa fan. And so we did a preview of the Music City Bowl on Wednesday. And the very first thing that I said on the show, we had keys to the game. And my very first key was UK turnovers versus Iowa takeaways. That was my very first key to the game. And I mean, you can clearly see that was a huge thing in the show, in the game today. And then I'll tell you, after watching the game, I thought there was about three plays, maybe that was a huge difference in the game as well. We took some shots down the field with Destin Wade today. And we took a few shots down the field and we missed them all. We took a few with Barry Brown. I'm trying to think. There might even have been one with Dane Key, I think, late in the game.
I think so,
that we tried to take. I'm pretty sure there was. But we missed every one of them. And that's, if we hit a couple of those, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe if we have Will Levis, we do. But I was impressed with Destin Wade's arm, though I didn't know he had that much of an arm on him. Actually, I thought he was just more of a scrambler. But, I mean, he could throw it downfield. I know he didn't connect on any of them, but he had some ability there for sure. It's just decision-making obviously cost us a couple scores, and that's unfortunate. But, I mean, can you fault him? I mean, his first start was against one of the best defenses in the country. So,
and he's a true freshman. He's playing high school football 12 months ago. And now he's going against a top 5 defense in college football. I mean, Caden, don't you think that'd be hard to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to ask, why did we choose him over the guy who subbed in for Will Levis whenever he was injured?
Oh, Kyra Sharon. Yeah,
Kyra Sharon.
I really don't know the answer to that, other than the game was in Nashville.
That could have been part of it, for sure.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I think we saw that Kyra Sharon, I mean, like, didn't have the best decision-making either against South Carolina. So, I mean, I don't know. I think they intended to play all 3 guys, really, more than they did. But who knows? Who knows what was going on in the locker room and everything. But, I mean, Deuce Hogan, too, played at Iowa. There's a storyline there of him playing against his old team, too. But
right.
Yeah, maybe it was a Nashville thing. Yeah, I mean, certainly that was a big storyline for Barry and Brown playing in his hometown as a freshman. He had a lot of family at the game. And, yeah, Destin Wade, I think they said on the broadcast, had over 100 friends and family members that were in attendance at the game. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So you had Berrien Brown and Destin Wade both starting on the offense as true freshmen from Nashville, getting to go back home to play in the Titan Stadium. And I mean, Stoops can say that didn't have something to do with it. You know what I mean? But more than
I think
likely
so.
it did.
I think it did, and people were comparing this to like a spring game, right? To like a blue-white game, and of course, Stoops shot that down. Like, no, we're going to win. Like, we're not looking at this as a exhibition game or something like that. But in all reality, that's really what it was, right?
If we were going to win, we wouldn't have opt-outs.
Well, that's true, Caden. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I think that ultimately, like, does this game matter in terms of our, I guess, sort of progression and momentum into next year? Not really, because how many people that played today are going to be key factors next year? Maybe Berrien Brown, maybe Dane Key, and then defensively Deion Walker. Like, those are the big guys, but like, really our team is going to look much different, especially at offensive line, and at quarterback, obviously, and running back. With this Vanderbilt kid we got transferring in, looks like he's 40. What's his name? Something Jefferson.
Davis.
Is that right?
Ray
Okay.
Davis.
Oh, Davis. Oh, Ramon Jefferson's the other kid. That's right.
Yeah. Ramon Jefferson's the one that might come back.
Okay. Ray
got
Davis.
hurt. He got hurt in like the first game or something.
And he tore his ACL on the first play. His very first snap, he tore his ACL. That's so unfortunate. It was like a 10-yard gain too. I was like, heck yeah, this guy's going to be good. While we have C-Rod out, tears his ACL the first play.
Right.
Like,
yeah. So I mean, people expect him to apply for another year.
Oh, I'm sure he will. But yeah, we're gonna be stacked next year offensively, and having Liam Cohen too, like, that's gonna happen. Like, and we're automatically gonna be better. I don't care who we have, what kind of personnel we have. To have Liam Cohen as a play caller, we're automatically gonna be more.
I hope you're right, Coleman. That's all I got to say.
Oh, I think so. I think I am. I bet, but we'll see. I mean, only time will tell. But the thing for me about,
they can't really announce it yet because of the because they're in play still in the NFL. So yeah,
that's true. Well, I mean, the thing about Liam Cohen is he knows how to get the ball to the best players. I mean, we had one wide receiver threat last year, was Wan'Dale Robinson, and we were going against just as tough as an Iowa defense. It's weird. We played Iowa on the first day of 2022 and the last day of 2022. That's just like how many times that's happened. But they were a stacked defense then. And they were a stacked defense then. And we were able to take Will Levis and we were able to get it to Wan'Dale every single play.
Well,
we had that
Wan'Dale made some really spectacular plays and catches.
I mean, he really did. Yeah.
Everybody remembers his move and his juke at the end and getting to the one. Everybody remembers, but most people don't remember there was a play, second or third play in that drive where he come off a slant. He come off of a slant and caught the pass and didn't even have a chance to turn around and got hammered.
I don't know how he hung on to that ball. Yeah, don't know how.
He got hammered. And not only did he hang on to the ball, which was a miracle, he got back up. Like, he jumped up like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah. He had to have got the wind knocked out. He's a little dude too. He's from my hometown. He's from Frankfurt, and I've stood next to him, and he's about my height, or if not shorter. And the fact he's an NFL receiver is just like mind blowing to me. But
I mean, that's the play that nobody taught off of that game last year that amazes me. I mean, he had two other plays in that drive that was amazing. Okay, I'm not going to say that they're not. They were.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, when he got smoked on that catch and hung on to it and then jumped right back up ready for the next play, I was like, whoa, this dude's got something.
Yeah.
And I hope now he's tore an ACL, I think.
We have guys that are Wandale-esque, Tavion Robinson, Barian Brown, and these things that we try to run these little like slant routes and stuff too, but we just get caught in the backfield. Obviously, the O-line didn't help that this year, and then I think today the absence of tight ends hurt us in blocking too, and creating some space for those guys to make plays.
It did. I think Justice Dingle. I mean, we had a whole lot of freshmen on that field today, either freshmen or redshirt freshmen, a whole lot. All right, Caden, we'll switch it to some basketball talk. We'll talk about the.
Yeah, I got some opinions.
We'll talk about a little Louisville and Kentucky basketball here real quick. So, the game turned out much more like it probably should have than what I was worried about. So, because I was worried about the game. I'm not going to lie.
I think it should have been a 50-point win. So I don't think it was completely what it should have been, but we were all a little worried.
By more. Yeah, we should have beaten them by more, but I mean, we covered. So we covered by half a point, but we covered.
Yeah. I think it was 22 and a half or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, spread was 22 and a half.
It was pretty much the same guys playing well, Cason Wallace and Oscar, obviously, but I think Toppin played really well today. He kind of goes on spurts of playing really well, and then other games he's kind of not really there. But if we could have him more consistently, it'd be a big deal.
Well, I'm probably going to have a very unpopular opinion about Toppin, okay?
No, we probably agree.
Yeah, we probably
agree. But doing this against a 2-12 Louisville team.
Exactly. Yeah, if you notice, really we shoot really well against teams that are 300 in the country.
Oh, yeah. We shot 60% today. I mean, against a horrible team. But you get anybody that's physical with us and will run and gun with us and beat us down the floor and keep us from fast break points. And we have to set up in half-court offense all the time. And we're a completely different team. And I would say the same thing with Toppin. I want to see you do it against Arkansas. I want to see you do it against Alabama. I want to see you do it against Kansas when we play Kansas later in the season.
That's the
CJ Frederick was the same way too. I know he's hurt now, but
yeah, and that's listen. Toppin is super athletic, but this Louisville team was undersized, not nearly as athletic as he is. And he had a great game against him, and he should. I mean, honestly, he should have a great game against him. Don't you guys think so?
Yeah, he should. Well, that's the big thing about today is that it was with Louisville, it was kind of a lose-lose situation. If we lost to Louisville, it's going to be catastrophic, right? And we beat them.
It would have been.
Yeah, obviously. But we beat them.
I mean, it would have been.
And but now people are like, well, it's Louisville though. Like this is fake. Like, are we actually better now, or is it just Louisville? Is it just because
unless it was Cats by 90, people would be mad either way.
But I have to say though, I think that I know Louisville's bad, but I think we played with a different sort of energy today than we did against Missouri. I think we played way harder today against Louisville than we did against Missouri. And I don't care who you're playing. I think that effort.
It was at Rupp too, though, so that probably makes a difference. You got the home crowd behind you, the energy behind you.
But Toppin,
so it was at Rupp today.
Going back to Toppin, I mean, Toppin looked like he was asleep against Missouri. I mean, he looked like he was. I mean, there was that one jump ball that he was like going for, and he was just sort of like looking over the bench, like, "What do you want me to do?" And he was playing all loose and everything. But today he just, I don't know, he played with more energy, I felt like. And maybe it's as simple as that for him. I mean, Toppin might be the most athletic dude we have on the team, and if he just goes for it, right? If he just like attacks and plays with that energy, I think he's going to set himself up for success way more,
So I'm going to show this. So Martha is on with us. She had I didn't get to read all of
Marsha.
the one that she
Yeah.
did. But Marsha's on. She's getting on me for my Toppin comments. So I just thought but I knew that. I knew that.
Toppin.
I've been a basketball fan and play and coach, not at that level, but all my life. And this team just doesn't look like they're having fun in some of these games. Go watch the UCLA game. Go watch the Gonzaga game. Rewatch those games and tell me if you think this team is having fun. They're enjoying playing basketball.
When's the last time
for
we
the
had
University
a team
of
that looked like
Kentucky.
they were having fun?
The last team that looked like they were having fun may have been the
Monk's team did. Monk's team.
Yeah.
And then maybe
And they cried when we lost. Yeah.
Maybe the 19 team with Tyler Hero.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean that team was good, but it felt tight though. Like I think that's why we lost to Auburn. We shouldn't have lost to Auburn. We just beat Auburn by almost 40 like a couple weeks before that, and then we lost to them. Like, how's that happen?
Yeah.
But there are some positive stats from today's game. I mean, you mentioned that
Not the free throw shooting.
Not the free throw shooting, no. But we did shoot 33 for 55 from the field today. That's 60%, as you said, Brad. That was the best shooting performance Kentucky has ever had against Louisville today. So, I mean, that's a positive takeaway. So,
yeah, I mean, they did shoot better today, which if they're going to turn into a good team, and I'm saying that in turning into a good team, shooting is going to be an absolute necessary thing. What gets me, everybody wants to talk about like the 3-point shooting. This team is struggling with 3-foot floaters and bank shots, right at the basket and layups. And like, you can go watch a couple of those games that I just mentioned and count the percentage that we are shooting from 4 foot in at the basket.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these type of players that we have at Kentucky should probably be hitting 75 or 80% of those shots that are 4 foot and in, 5 foot and in. I mean, you should probably be hitting. But we don't like. There was one game. I can't remember if it was the UCLA game, but there was one game I think it was UCLA. We literally shot 50% from like layups.
Yeah, you can't.
And dunks.
Can't do that. Yeah.
And dunks. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Absolutely, Caden.
There was one. I can't remember what game it was. Maybe it was Missouri, but Ugonna had. I mean, dude's like what 7'1" or something crazy. He had a wide open layup, and he tried to like shoot a layup. Like, I mean, he tried to lay it in. Just dunk it, man. He was like wide open on a fast break, nobody around him. I'm like, just like you don't even have to jump, like just dunk it, like, and he missed it.
Right.
It's just frustrates things like that, just like little fundamental things. Although speaking of fundamental things, this was kind of funny. I mean, Louisville is really bad. Did you see Caden when they were on the sideline today? Like moved on the sideline, and it was that
they called offensive interference, and then Louisville tried to run on the baseline to him.
Yeah, they tried to run the baseline. Yeah, Kenny about lost his mind. I've never seen Kenny Payne like mad until now, until he's a head coach. It's just weird to see him like yelling on the sidelines. He's usually just all smiles and chill.
Calm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the first time I've seen that.
He always was.
Game,
no, but speaking of Kenny, after the game, he did give some. I don't know if Kentucky fans feel this way, but he did give some praise to Kentucky after the game. Kenny said, "I don't care what anyone says; they are one of the best teams in college basketball." Kenny Payne said that about Kentucky today. So maybe he's right. I don't know. We haven't really seen it yet, but maybe that'll turn out to be true.
The other thing, did you all see our future coach as one of the commentators?
Yeah, Brad, I don't know if you know, but Caden and I, we want Jay Wright to be our next basketball coach.
Oh, yeah, I seen that he was one of the commentators. Yeah, I did see that. Matter of fact,
he loved Louisville, though. You could tell he loved Louisville.
Yeah.
When I was looking through the stuff like after the game, I was like, what in the crap is Jay Wright doing there? And then I realized he was part of the commentator team. Because they had like pictures and stuff, and it showed Jay Wright like shaking. I think it was Coach Cal's hand, or something. He was leaning over, shaking his hand. I was like, "Why is Jay Wright there?" But then I realized
he said that he's never played. He's never took his team to Rupp Arena. I thought that was interesting. I guess we've never played. I guess we've only played Villanova in the tournament or something.
Well, speaking of post-game comments and coaches too, Calipari did kind of own up to some things post-game today regarding Kentucky's struggles so far. He said, quote, "Most of it is my fault. I'll figure it out after a while. You see, I shortened the rotation today. Maybe that's what we need to do, but it was about deliberate play." He's taking a little bit of the blame, saying most of it's my fault. I love that he just says, "Yeah, I'll figure it out after a while. You know, we'll get there."
Well,
he said it's not life and death.
Yeah.
But I forget who was Bill Raftery or somebody on CBS.
He said it is.
Today. He was like, "Be careful saying that. Around here, it actually is life and death." So
I hate to tell him, honestly, it kind of is. So, but I want to say this about the whole shortened rotation deal. And this is not something I've just said this year. I said it last year. I've said it the year before that. That is something that John Calipari goes to almost every single year. And against a bad team like Louisville, if he wants to play 6 players, we can get away with that. You go up against some of these better physical teams that we are going to have to play through the SEC and Kansas and the NCAA tournament, you're not going to get away with that. And I don't understand why he doesn't get that. I mean, guys, where is Damian Collins? Where is he?
I mean, he made some
a few minutes today,
about
many.
Yeah, he made some kind of comment about.
I think it's 3, Caden.
3 minutes. He played 3 minutes today.
I think that's what I seen. Yeah, 3 minutes.
And he made some kind of comment like it's Damian's turn next. Why do we have to take turns? Why can't it just be everybody's turn? I mean, against Missouri, why didn't Damian play? Damian didn't play any minute. He didn't play 1 second. He didn't play at all against Missouri. And nothing was working that game. What would have been the harm in putting Damian out there, you know? But he played. I thought when Damian was in today, he played well.
I just like Damian. We just had a conversation about Toppin, okay, and all of his athleticism and everything. Damian Collins might be just as athletic as Jacob Toppin. And now, is he as far as long, like, you know, in his play? Probably not, but he's been sitting on the bench for a year and a half. I mean,
and then
you have to give guys some PT, some playing time in real live games against real live opponents with the lights on and the clock ticking, and they have to have that.
Well, something that's interesting relating to limited, like 6 or 7 man rotation is that Toppin, Sheboy, and Wallace combined for 65 of our 86 points. Probably due to that. But I thought that was
so here you
interesting.
go. So you have a
Guys.
6-man. So you have a 6-man rotation, and you're counting on 3 guys to do all your scoring. What happens when Case and Wallace has another 2 for 13 shooting performance?
Guess we're going to lose.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen, guys.
Who knows?
I'm telling you right now. Clyde, hey, and Hammonds, you keep saying on here, I sent you your own email. I also sent you in the Twitter messenger, I sent a invite. So I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. But anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there, mention it in
He's giving
the
you
chat.
crap.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, I sent it in his own email, first of all, and then I sent it on the Twitter message thing that we have.
What was he
If
doing
you want
last
him
show?
on,
He was
man.
on there telling you need to shave the whole time, wasn't he? I watched a little bit of one of your all's episodes.
Yeah. So last show we did he was having to watch the Dallas Cowboys game, so he wasn't on with us then either.
Poor guy.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I know, right?
There was
look,
another.
There he is again.
Is he still in there? What's he saying?
He says, "Why am I not on the show?" Hammonds, you have invites. 2 of them, as a matter of fact.
2 of them. Oh, man. Well, speaking of 2 of them, today, for the second time ever, Kentucky had 2 players score at least 24 points against Louisville in the same game. Today was Jacob Toppin and Oscar Sheboy. Last time, the only other time in history that's happened was in 91 with Jamal Mashburn and John Pelfrey. So that's another good stat. I mean, it's not bad.
What year did you say?
91.
What year did you? 91.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: I really loved the 1993 Jamal Mashburn throwback unis.
Yes, we need to. I made a post on our page. We just need to wear those. Like from now on, I don't think it has anything to do with how we play. I don't believe in any of that. I just like how they look. And
me too.
Yeah, people on our page were like, "Oh, why? It's just Louisville. Calm down. They're only 2-11. Like it's not." And I'm like, "No, I just like how the uniforms look. That's all. I just want to."
Well, for me, okay, so I graduated high school in 1993. To be honest with you, I'm a little older than you guys. But
just
MASH,
2015,
MASH was one of my all-time favorite players, and I loved. When you go back and look at some of his photos and stuff, that's one of the uniforms that you always see Jamal Mashburn in. And I just loved the fact that they picked the 1993 uniforms that, that MASH took us to the Final Four in.
Yep.
Coleman and I went to the Florida A&M game. We got to see the Duke uniforms we were wearing.
You got to see the black ones.
And blue.
Yeah.
The black, yeah. Honestly, I know that the young kids and everything today, they like that stuff. And I mean, the recruits and stuff, they like that stuff. But I'm not big on the whole black.
I've never liked us wearing black uniforms. It's Duke. Yeah, it's not our colors, like I'm blue and white all the way. I did like the silver ones that we wore one time. I think it was the Anthony Davis year. One game we wore like the platinum, like silver. I thought those were cool.
Right.
But black that's Duke. No, we can't wear black.
Speaking of clothing, I just want to make this known. Coleman pulled a fast one on me. You see that hat he's got on there?
Uh-huh.
I
don't have one.
Hey, I'm going to get over this. Was a late Christmas present. This was a late Christmas.
You don't have one?
I don't have one. Is that on the way?
It's on the way. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's in the mail.
It's a good conversation starter, It's like, what's Talkin Kentucky? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, glad you asked.
That's good. Got to wear it around. So
All right. So Coleman phone number. If y'all want to call in, we'll open up the phone number. Just give me a second and I'll get it pulled up here, get it on the screen. Now, this is through Talkin Kentucky. Coleman's going to answer the phone and kind of when they do this. So here's the phone number. You can call in at 502-234-1504. And I'll put that on the screen. I know Clyde likes to call in for Talkin Kentucky. And he was on here a few minutes ago.
Clyde and Marcia and Josh, and we got a lot of Talkin Kentucky faithful on here. It seems like,
right.
Maybe even John can call in if he wants to get in on the show since he doesn't have the link currently.
I don't know what's up with John Hammonds. I don't know. Check your email. That's all I know.
Hey, John, I've been getting to listen to a little bit of everything lately with a little bit of extra time on my hands. I listened to Wildcat Sports Talk last night, and John had a good call in. He ended the show with a good John Hammond's rant about
opting out.
It wasn't about opting out. No, I think it was just about Kentucky basketball. I think it was about the state of Kentucky basketball. He gave his like Matt Jones state of Kentucky basketball address. I thought it was really good. But hey, we are getting a call here. I don't know who it is, but I'll answer it. So
okay.
Hey, you're on with Talkin Kentucky and College Sportscast. Who's this?
Hey, it's Josh. How you guys doing?
Hey, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
How's it going? You on the road?
Yeah, I'm about an hour, about 30 minutes away from Texarkana, Texas.
Hey, and
I've been there a few times.
Old neck of the woods, Caden, Texarkana, Texas. Are you going to stop through Grand or whatever the name of the town is and get some beer?
Oh.
Granbury.
Granbury, yeah.
Yeah, Granbury. No, I don't know if the GPS is going to take me that way, but let's try to find some on the way tomorrow because it won't be such a long trip tomorrow. It's only going to be about 7 hours versus I've been on the road since 4 a.m. this morning, Eastern Standard Time. So I've been on the road for, I don't know, 13, 14 hours straight.
Did you get a chance to watch either Kentucky game this morning, early afternoon?
No, I didn't watch them. I listened to them on Kentucky's network. I can't really watch mine driving, but I watched the football game. Started out with the football game, went to the basketball game, went back to the football game, and after they scored the touchdown, and then that kid threw the interception, I was like, well, we're beat. So I went back and I stayed with the basketball game.
It's pretty much what I did.
Yeah, they had a lot more energy, but again, like you guys have been saying, it's Louisville. I mean, who is they? Who are they this year? They're really, I mean, we beat nobody. We didn't get to 430 like I wanted. I'm surprised we covered, but I'm glad we won. But does this mean we're back? No.
Yeah, I don't think we can say we're back yet. No, but it's always good to be
not even close, Josh.
But so what would have been that number where we would have felt good about us sort of being better as versus Louisville just being bad?
90.
90.
If we beat them by 40.
40. Okay, that's for me. I think it's 30. Once we hit 30, I probably feel comfortable about it. 20s didn't really do it for me. No. I think it had to be at least 30. Yeah.
Hey, Josh, you said you listened to it. Which one did Tom Leach do?
Yeah, did Tom Leach do the football or the basketball
football,
game?
okay.
Tom Leach did the football game, and they had some other guys that I've never heard on radio.
Okay.
Do the
Goose Givens.
Game. So it was weird for sure. But
Jack Goose Givens was one of them on the basketball radio call.
Yeah,
but there was another guy. There was another guy with him, and I'm not exactly sure who that was.
Yeah. Well, Josh, what are your takeaway? I mean, are you sad about the football? I'm sure you're sad about the football loss, but does it worry you at all, or are you just kind of like, well, let's just move on past this season and get to next season?
No, it doesn't worry me because we had a lot of people give up on the team. I think they should have played. I'm with you guys. If you're there and you're healthy, then you should play. I like Will Levis. I like C-Rod. C-Rod missed 4 games, so there's no reason he should have opted out of nothing. But
right.
That's what I said.
Levis should have played because he had a subpar season. I know he got beat up. I know the O-line was crap this year. But at the end of the year, they seemed like they gelled a little bit better, maybe just a little bit. And I think that he should have just played because I think he could have upped his draft stock maybe a little bit more by coming out and having a good performance. But, it is what it is. That whole transfer portal's got college football mess. Yeah, we hit the lottery getting some of them good players this year with the kid from Vanderbilt and the kid from NC State coming in next year. And Coleman's coming back, of course. But still, it hurts. It hurt this game. And but like I said, at the end of the day, it probably doesn't really matter other than we could have got our 5th bowl victory in a row.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Well, Josh, for you, do you think for the next Kentucky basketball game at least for LSU, how are you feeling about that game now? Are you feel confident we can get that win?
Is that it? Where's it at? Is it Rubber Arena?
It's in Lexington.
Tuesday night. We play Tuesday night, Josh.
That's right.
Only for the fact that it's in Rubber Arena. If it's LSU, I'd say we're going to lose. But maybe just because it's in Rupp, we'll pull the victory out. But don't look them to, do what they did versus the Louisville.
Right. Yeah. Well, I hope they do, but yeah, hopefully we can get the W.
Nice.
Well, you got anything else, Josh, before we let you get back to your travels there?
No, just glad we made Louisville kind of look bad today, but still got a lot of work to do. Took a little bit of heat off Calaberry today by him winning this game, and but he's not out of the woods yet. That's for daggone sure.
That's true.
No, he's not.
That's done, and we just got to prepare for a better season next year. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I still don't think we're going to win the tournament this year at all. We got a long way to go before we're even talking about getting that ninth banner and that ninth title. So I just don't think right now. I don't see it.
Well, we'll take it one game at a time, but maybe it'll be a new year, new us for Kentucky basketball. We'll see. Well, happy New Year, Josh, and hey, thanks for calling in to our little side-by-side show here tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Josh. Thank you.
If you guys are not supporting these podcasts, please do so. Follow them on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. It's a really good show. You'll start following other shows also. So let's go, Cats. Let's turn it around and let's have a better 2023. Hopefully.
That's right. Go Cats, Josh.
See you, Josh.
Bye bye.
All right. Looks like we got
Clyde
another
says he's
call.
going to call. That might be Clyde.
Looks like we got another call on here. I don't know if it's Clyde or not. Hey, you're on with Talkin Kentucky and College Sportscast. Who's this?
Hi, guys. It's Marsha.
Oh, it's Marsha.
Hey, Marsha.
Okay. Awesome.
Hey, Marsha.
I wasn't impressed today. Maybe you guys were, but I was. And I figured we would win. I didn't think we would not. If he's going to stick with the man-to-man, how many times did Louisville take us to the paint? A lot. If they got any scoring.
Now, that was the biggest worry for me from today was our defensive game. We let Louisville drop 60-something on us. Like, that was that was worrisome. I feel like they should have
What's for me too.
not broken 50 on us, maybe. So
I mean, he could have went to his zone. I mean, at least tried it because they couldn't shoot anyway.
He's not going to do that, Marcia. I'm sorry, but he's
yeah,
just not.
I wish he would.
Listen to my rant on our last show.
Yeah, we've all been preaching that. I wish he did go to zone and a 2-3, obviously, or even the old Joe B. Hall 1-3-1
with the newspaper.
I don't like the 1-3-1 because I'm afraid they'll backdoor somehow. If you're playing a good team, a good coach.
Yeah.
But against Louisville, I would have won a 2-3 with ease and made them shoot. We don't have to get in foul trouble. I mean, the only time he substitutes the bench is when we get in some type of foul trouble. That's the reason you never see the bench.
So, Marcia, what you're talking about, just so you know, okay, what you're talking about is in-game strategy. All right. It's called, I mean, honestly, it's coaching in-game strategy. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Calipari struggles with that.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
Yes, he does. I mean, we never noticed it when we got him. We talked about that the last time. He's a good recruiter. And we had recruits like John Wall that could coach their stuff. We didn't need that. We were all thrilled over that. We got pulled in. And when you lose players, not to the pro, you lose players to other teams that we need, could have had this year.
About 4 or 5 years ago, college basketball kind of changed. It was basically you could just land the top, one and done players, and that was kind of the landscape of college basketball. But in the last 4 or 5 years, it's trending more towards graduate transfers, and now you've got the portal, and a lot of these teams have players that have been around for 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
it absolutely.
I'm so disappointed. I think Oscar didn't play as well as he could have either because they kind of manhandled him a little bit. And I thought, they're taking us to the paint, guys. Hello. And scoring, this is Louisville, okay? What are you going to do in conference? I mean, if it's going to be man-to-man all the time, a coach is going to read coach very easily. I mean, that's easy to figure out, and all you have to do is double down. But I did think Livingston showed up topping. He is the most athletic player, in my opinion. I've always thought that. And I think he lost his confidence. And I think it's because of coach, because I saw that on his face in the game, sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And you can't let that happen too long and let that go on too long, coach, and get him back in the game. Well, because I guarantee you, his athleticism and his knowledge of the game, by sitting there, he knows what he needs to do. Get him back in there. Don't continue to set him.
I agree with you. I would also like to see Damian Collins with his athleticism on the floor some too.
What did he say? He said, Damian is going to get more play. What did he get, a minute?
Yeah, I think 3 minutes.
3 minutes, actually. 3 minutes
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing for him. To me, it would be. I don't know what other fans think, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm like, Coach, you say you're going to do something, then do it.
Yeah.
You can talk it, but I'm not sure you can walk that.
Well, Brad, on our last show with Marcia called into our show on Thursday, and we talked about Damian a lot. Like, where has Damian been? Like, why isn't Damian playing?
Yeah.
And of course, he didn't play at all against Missouri, but to then only get 3 minutes today against Louisville,
right, 3 minutes.
Against a very bad, mediocre Louisville team who is not nearly as athletic as Damian Collins.
Yeah, right.
Or you know what I mean? Right.
His own lineup again, just about. He played safe to beat.
So you let an opportunity go by to waste that you could have gained some minutes and experience for Ugana, for Damian Collins. And they could have got out there and gained some experience. Now, here it is. They get 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
We're behind the 8 ball. We're behind the 8 ball for conference. There's no question in my mind. And I still think a line will be drawn for him. I didn't think we would lose against Louisville, but we should have beat them by a lot more. But that man-to-man and driving us to the paint like every other team does, and this is Louisville. And I'm like, okay.
I will say we did start strong. It gave me the 2014-15 UCLA Champions Classic vibes when it was like 24-0 at the beginning. Like we were taking, I mean, I was happy with how the first few minutes of the game went, but then we kind of took our foot off the gas, it seemed like.
Yeah, and they came back within 9 points. I
know 9. Or 8. I think I cut it to 8.
Hell no.
Yeah, I know.
Was that in the first half or second when they cut it to 8?
You know, the bench Sutton, he doesn't even know them.
I mean, that was.
We don't know them. We don't see them. I mean,
yeah.
If you ask our opinion, it's like, how can I tell you if I don't see them?
I think that was in the second half when we cut it to 8, wasn't it, Marsha? When we cut it to 8 in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fort A&M vibes.
A little bit like, oh well.
Well, yeah, Fort A&M vibes. Caden says. Well, what do you think, Marsha, about before we let you go about Toppin? Like, what do you think? Like going forward, like he has the confidence he needs to kind of take off from here. Do you think? I mean, where do you think he stands?
Yes, I do. As long, and that comes from the coach. I'm sorry. You know, if you punish and yell and scream and you're not playing well and you're playing a 3-man guard, which Toppin, remember I told you, got lost out there and got yanked. That 3-man guard it's not good for Oscar. It's not good for Toppin. Now, Livingston out there with them is good. I don't take nothing away from him, but like, again, he's still a freshman, needs coaching, but he makes a difference. You know, but you can't go with a 3-man guard. We're not consistent. If you're not going to be consistent, you're just wasting the game away.
Yeah,
and dying by the 3.
I thought the starting lineup today was probably right with Toppin and Livingston at the 3, and Livingston at the 3.
Don't you think he's the most athletic person we got on the team? In all honesty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so. You know, I saw him sitting on the bench. I saw him mad. I saw the look on his face. And I thought, you know, you better get back in.
Yeah.
You know, once you lose confidence, it's a little hard to get back. You know, and then you expect to perform. But don't put him in with a 3-man guard. He looks better with Wheeler and Wallace, you know, out there, and Livingston and Oscar. That's a lot better.
Oh, I think so.
A lot better.
I agree. Yeah. No doubt. Well, anything else, Marsha, before we let you go?
No, I just wanted to say hello to you guys, and I was thinking about you. So during the game.
Well, thank you for calling in. We always appreciate it, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Marsha.
Thanks, Marsha. Guys, you're great.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Have a good day, guys. Later.
And then I think we got Clyde too was wanting to call in there. If the phone lines are lighting up, we getting like missed calls during the other calls and everything. Like a producer. That's a good problem.
Yeah, Clyde said something about he was wanting to call in. He may still be on with us.
Yeah, he may still call in here. Oh yeah, here he is right here. We're getting 3 in a row here. Big trifecta. What's going on, Clyde? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. You know, shout out to Bryce Young and Will Anderson for playing in their bowl game.
Yeah.
You know, I am so ashamed of Will Levis and Chris Rodriguez. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. We gave you all everything, and this is how you want to repay us. And not only that, we got blown out. And that's the first time that's the first time I've seen Kentucky not score in I don't even know how many years, because even when we were like bad, we would still score. We didn't go like any games scoring. Like we had some games where we just had 7, but I mean at least we scored. I mean,
well, so I think the last time we got shut out, Clyde, was against Georgia, and it was the exact same score, 21-0, and that was 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. That was when we had Bowden ball, I think. Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's right.
It wasn't very long ago. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, that's when we had Bowden ball when and C-Rod dropped that pass in the end zone, which that kind of would have changed the game. That's the game that it was raining really hard and everything. Yeah,
yep,
I think so.
Remember. Yep. That was his first road game as a quarterback.
But no, today not only was our largest margin of defeat, but it was our largest deficit in a bowl game in the history of Kentucky football, 21 points. So
that's terrible. That's absolutely dog crap. That is like the most dog's crap ever.
Yeah,
hey, he wouldn't have said crap on our podcast.
I didn't even really watch it. I was mainly paying attention to the basketball game because I'm in basketball mode anyways. I'm not worried about football anymore until next football season. But I want to. Collins, he should have played more minutes. I mean, heck, when Willie tried to throw him the lob, he caught it, went down, then he dunked on the dude. If you see that, if I'm the coach, and if I see that, I'm leaving him the rest of that half because.
But then he gets jerked out. After a play like that, he gets jerked out and doesn't get put back in. He played 3 minutes.
Yeah. That's what I don't get about Cal. I mean, after somebody does something good, like after Reeves hits a three, he takes him out. After Collins dunks it on somebody's head, he takes him out. It just, I don't get it.
And then not only does he take him out right after that, he never sees the floor again.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like Cal has his favorites or something. I mean, there's something there.
I mean, how on earth does that happen is what I want to know.
Well, I mean, he did the same thing with Adu. He said it's Adu's time next. Piero's going to play, and then he doesn't come in until we're down 18 in the Missouri game. And then with Damian, he's like Damian's the guy next and plays 3 minutes today. It's just
the same kind of thing happened in a turning game a year or two ago, and we ended up losing.
I'm laughing at that because it's the truth. Like, it's funny. Like, I mean, you don't, when somebody does that, like when somebody throws you a lob, you don't catch up in the air and you just actually dunk on the dude, pick it up and dunk on the dude, you have to stay in. But that's what he's done with all of these players. He's done that with Bryce Hopkins. He did that with, Khalil Whitney didn't want to do anything when he played here anyway. So he
Cameron Fletcher.
Cameron Fletcher.
Not about him.
Forget about Charles Matthews.
He went to Michigan.
Same thing to Charles Matthews, and that's why Charles Matthews left and dominated at Michigan. Went to the national championship game and almost won it. But I mean, I think he was the best player on their team that year, to be honest.
Johnny Juzang did the same thing at UCLA.
Johnny Juzang, yeah. Yep, all these guys. I mean, it's one thing if I thought that may have just been a coincidence that Johnny Juzang went to UCLA and started playing well there. It's like, okay, but then it's happened with Keon. It's happened with Bryce Hopkins. It's becoming a pattern. I don't think it's a coincidence these guys take off at other schools.
Well, I mean, listen, you look at Damian Collins right now. If he goes somewhere else, do you not believe in your heart of hearts that Damian Collins has enough talent that he'll go somewhere else and star?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
He will, won't he?
Collins is gone. I really do. I think in my heart Collins is gone after this season. He's not going to come back. He needs to go somewhere where he can be utilized for his athleticism because that's what he is. He's an athletic freak, and that's what he's just an athlete. He's athletic. He's bouncy. He's got the highest vertical on the entire team.
It's like 40
inches or something. How do you not play somebody like that? He's even got a higher vertical than Zion Williamson. How do you not play him?
Keon made some kind of tweet the other night.
I really don't get it, Clyde. I really don't.
After we lost to Missouri, Keon tweeted some emoji like a crying
hand emoji. I saw that.
Yeah, or like a hand emoji or something. And I mean, I can't really blame him, honestly.
No, me neither. I mean, I miss Keon. I really do. I miss.
Man, he was one of my favorite players.
But Keon not wanting Keon to stay, but now I'm like, I actually wish he did stay.
Yeah, Well, and I think he knows that. I think we all were kind of pushing him out the door, and now we're wishing we had him back. I mean, I was watching Kansas
Not me,
today.
Keon. Not me.
Yeah.
If you watch this, it wasn't me. It's all I'm saying.
I'm sure Keon's out there watching.
I know Brad's team, Keon. Trust me. I know that wholeheartedly. I know that from the get-go. He is Team Keon. And can you blame him? I don't blame him.
No.
Keon's killing it. He's killing it, man.
I was watching Kansas today play Oklahoma State, and somehow Kansas came back and won that game. But I couldn't help but thinking, Well, if
That's
we
where
went
he
to
went off.
Kansas, it is. But yeah, if we went to Kansas right now today, we'd get completely destroyed.
Oh, yeah,
I
we
thought
would.
we were going to get completely
We would
destroyed.
get ripped by 20 points.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get destroyed this time last year, but then we went in and beat them. But if it weren't for Keon, we wouldn't have. So
Keon
yeah,
went off
kinda
that
missed
night.
That game.
Yeah,
He had 27 points. It was a career high for him. And it's crazy because he should have been averaging like at least 14, 15 every game. And I don't know, some games he just didn't do anything. But it's all a mental thing in your head, you know. You got to go out there and you got to want to score 15. You got to want to score 18, 19, 20. It's all a mental thing as well. It's all mental. That's all this is it's a mental game, and it can either make you or break you. That is what this sport's for. That's what all sports is for, to make it or break you. So it's all a mental thing as well. Either you show up or you don't. It's on you. It's not on the coach. Well, it's the coach to get you prepared, but they can't go out there and perform for you. You got to go out there and do it yourself, and you got to step up to the plate when it matters.
and I haven't watched Keon like play. I've just seen his numbers since he's been over there. But I wonder if he's like taking long twos, or I wonder what his shot selection is like, because it was long twos at Kentucky, and they went in one time, and it was that night at Kansas. So
I'll show you. I'll
Speaking
tell
of
you what I
transfers,
know.
we get
So I just looked at his stats not too long ago, and he's not shooting in bunches of numbers, but he is shooting 33% from behind the 3-point line at Washington right now, and hitting about
God.
one a game. And hitting about one a game.
Yeah.
not bad.
Hey, if you bet money on Michigan right now, you're an idiot because they're getting destroyed.
Oh, what's the game? What's the score of that game?
21-6 TCU in the third quarter.
Oh, well, I was about to make
And
fun of.
and Michigan keeps getting stopped in the end zone. Keeps getting stopped, and now they're kicking another field goal.
Yeah,
But don't make this because they're like right there on the 10-yard line. He's not going to miss this. But my money, I don't bet money on these games, but I got Georgia winning big time. I hope they rip Ohio State's soul out. I really do. I hope they just rip them apart because Georgia's got the best defense in the entire country. So I'd like to see what C.J. Strauss could do against that. I mean, he couldn't do anything against Michigan's defense. What makes you think he's going to do anything against Georgia's defense?
Clyde,
I mean,
you know
let's
I'm
be
a
real.
Kentucky fan, right?
He's going to do anything. I mean, come on now.
Brad
Clyde,
said,
you know I'm a Kentucky fan, right?
Like, well, I'm sorry.
I said,
No,
you know I'm a
Brad.
Kentucky fan, right, Brad?
Oh, yeah, I know that. Duh,
Okay, well, the reason why I ask it because I'm fixing to say something. I want to make sure you know that I'm a Kentucky fan first, but go Dogs. That's all I'm going to say.
How long? Like, since you were like, what, 7 or 8?
Birth?
Yeah,
How
man.
long you been a fan? Yeah, because I heard you talking to
I mean, birth, basically, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the Dirk Minifield. I can vaguely remember the Dirk Minifield dunk where he goes up over top of the guy on the rim.
That was the number one in UK history. That's still number one to this day. Yep.
Yeah.
Patrick Sparks was whenever I first started watching.
He over that dude, man. That was crazy.
I mean, he looked like he was 50 inches off the floor.
Derek Anderson's dunk against Louisville.
Yeah,
When he
Derek
like
Anderson.
Michael Jordan, he like literally Michael Jordan that dude, literally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
And then don't forget James Young's dunk in the Final Four when he dunked over like 3 UConn players.
And we were losing,
I
so it didn't
posted-
matter.
I posted on Twitter the other day the top 5 Kentucky dunks, and that James Young dunk. Perry Stevenson was number 5. The UNLV dunk.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be an
A lot
NIT
of
dunk.
people forget that dunk that Poitras had against Wisconsin when like Andrew Harrison gave him the ball, and then like he floated up in the air and he had to move his arms to the side. He dunked on the dude and he got an and one. People forget about that dunk.
Mhm.
So that should be like top at least 20. I mean, heck, he got an and one too, but I can't remember if he made the free throw or not. But those dunks were awesome too. I mean, you know.
Jeff Brasso had a putback dunk in out in the Maui Invitational against Arizona that won the game. That was nasty. He done it with his
Who was that?
offhand too. Jeff
Yeah.
Brasso. This was like 92 or something like that. It was a long time ago. Y'all probably don't remember, but I'm telling you, it was nasty. Jeff Brasso was a 6'4" guard.
Well, Clyde, have any other big points before we let you go?
Wait, what did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's okay. Hey, you have any other points before we let you go?
Well, I'm just glad that we ended the year off with the win. Let's get out of 2022, and let's just focus on this upcoming year, because what happens this half of the season is what really matters. I know December games matter too because you play big opponents. I know that. I know November matters too because you play the Champions Classic and stuff. I know that. But these games and conference play is going to really tell where this team is. But today was a feel-good game. I liked the way they played. I know Louisville's crappy. I get it. I know. But it was just good. And it was good to see Toppin just have confidence. It was just good to see him go out there and play and be happy. I mean, it was just good. So
you're right.
And as far as the football team goes, I didn't really watch the ball game much, but they ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Well, you're right that it was a feel-good game against Louisville today. I mean, Drew Franklin tweeted, "Let today be a reminder that no matter whatever life throws at you or how bad you think things get, at least you're not a Louisville fan."
Yep, I saw your Facebook post about that. Like before I clicked on the show, I saw it, and I'm like, "Yep, well, we know how much Drew hates Louisville, so that's not a surprise."
Yeah, he does. He does.
Like he hates them as much as he hates Tennessee.
Oh, and that's saying something. But
there's a few of them that I don't like, Clyde.
Happy New Year, or should I say Happy Blue Year to all of you guys?
I think it's
stay safe and enjoy your rest of the New Year's Eve and the rest of 2022.
All right, man. Happy New Year, and thanks for calling in as always. Thanks for listening.
See, Clyde.
Thanks, Clyde. I appreciate it.
Guys.
All right. Thanks, Clyde.
All righty. Have a good one.
Hey, one more thing. I know you wanted to get talk about the college football playoff stuff probably, but one more thing, a little fun debate I thought I was going to bring up in our episode on Thursday. But our show ended up being really just complaining about Kentucky basketball for the whole episode because that's, that's what it was. So we didn't get to all of our topics.
Right.
But this was on our topic. So the biggest, this Mitch Barnhart burner Twitter account is hilarious. But he does post some good scenarios on there. He said, "So what is the biggest what if in the history of Kentucky basketball?" And he posted 4 different options here. So what if Jody Meeks had stayed? If Jody Meeks had stayed for Cal's first year, and Wall and Meeks would have played
2010.
together.
Yeah.
Championship.
That's option number 1. What if Pitino had never left for the Celtics?
That's a pretty big gift there.
What if Tracy McGrady would have come to Kentucky?
He was pretty good back in the day.
Or what if they had have called the shot clock violation against Wisconsin? Those are the 4 options.
Well, if Pitino stayed, we'd probably have more championships.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to run through each one of those. The Wisconsin thing, we probably would have went on and win the championship. I mean, that team was good enough. We were going to win the championship.
Yeah.
Pitino, if Pitino stays at Kentucky, and I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that he would have stayed there, whatever, 22 years or whatever it's been now, 23 or 4 years. I mean, even if he would have stayed another 10 years, I feel pretty confident in saying that we would have won 3 more championships.
But what if we could also be the laughing stock, which is Louisville basketball right now, if he would have stayed?
He wouldn't have had to do that if he was at Kentucky. He had to do that at Louisville because it was Louisville. But at Kentucky, you wouldn't have to do that, probably.
Yeah, Louisville, he won a championship, and then he got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was already doing stuff with that championship.
I think they're all doing stuff.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't matter anymore. I
It's
mean,
true.
Adam brought up a good point last night on Wildcat Sports Talk. He was like, with the NIL and everything, he said violations it doesn't matter anymore.
It's true.
Um,
There's a big gray area now that.
I mean,
but
back in
we
the
would,
day,
we
I
would
could
have
come up with another what if. Back in the day, Joe B. Hall thought he had Ralph Sampson. Ralph Sampson was supposed to sign with us. I can tell you another one. He also thought he had Moses Malone, but Moses Malone actually college and went straight pros even in the 70s. People wasn't doing it. But
Tubby thought he had Tyler Hansborough.
Yeah. And Dirk Nowitzki. Actually, Dirk was possibly coming to UK.
One, yeah.
Dirk, I mean, and that was Tubby, I think.
Yep, that would have been a heck of a get. But yeah, with Patino, I mean, obviously won in '96. We would have won '98. It's if you take Patino and replace Tubby with Patino, we still would have won. And then I think he gets one more in there. I think we easily had two more championship. Well, I guess it would just be one more championship than we have right now. But I think Patino would have won 3. Yeah. At least.
But that Wisconsin game is probably the most painful game of all time.
Yeah, it was.
You wasn't around for 1992 Duke, was you?
Oh, I see the replay about 100 times a year.
Are you telling me that?
I'm not talking about just that one stupid play that everybody plays over again. I'm talking about the entire game. The stomp. Yeah. I mean, the entire game. I mean, you talking about a heartbreak. I mean, seriously. Now, 84, the 3 for 3 against Georgetown, and I was a little bitty boy then. I was like 9, and I literally sat on the steps and cried when that game was over with because Sam Bowie was one of my favorite players of all time. But I was 9 years old at the time. But I'm going to tell you right now, in 92, I was almost 18 years old when that game was played. And, I mean, it broke my heart. I'm not even – like that game broke my heart. It really did. And it's because it was such a war, and damn it, we thought we had it won. Sean Woods hit that shot, and we thought we had it, man.
Yep.
And I will to the death of me, if you slow that down, it wasn't – this is before the point – this is before the – like all the new camera stuff and, and all that's, go to replays and all that kind of stuff. If you slow that damn thing down on video, the ball is still in his hands when the clock says 0.
Yeah.
Oh, in Leitner's hands?
I promise you.
Huh.
Yeah. We should know
it's right
how many
there.
times they showed it. They showed it today on CBS on the intro to the Kentucky Louisville game. I was like, come on, guys. Like, it's December 31st, and we're playing Louisville, and you're showing the Leitner clip. Like, come on.
They need to be showing that DeMarcus Cousins elbow instead.
Yeah, they should. And that was on CBS.
I don't even say his name still to this. So, yeah, y'all got it said, so I don't need to.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
are you telling me if Jody Meeks played with John Wall, that may have been the difference maker in that West Virginia game when we couldn't hit the broadside?
Well, that was the one piece that we missed. That team, the only thing that we didn't have is a shooter.
Yep. And here we are
a
in
pure
2022,
shooter.
Still don't have a shooter. Well, we have Kaysen, I guess, this year. But, yeah, that's been the problem with Cal teams all along is not having shooters. Well, I mean, who have we had that have been good? I mean, Jamal Murray.
Deron Lamb.
Right. Deron Lamb.
Lamb was pretty good. Yeah, Lamb was pretty
good.
Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was pretty good. Could do it. Create and make his own shot from out there.
Quickly ended up being pretty good from out there.
Yeah, quickly could do it. His second year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's been a while. But, yeah, that 2012 team, man. Like we had all the pieces. Davis, Lamb, and Miller was the ultimate 6-man. It was awesome.
Terrence
I was
Jones.
looking at our schedule, like the next 4 games. We play LSU, then we play at Alabama, then we play South Carolina, and then we play at Tennessee.
Well,
What do you all think our record is there?
can you go through those again? I'll tell you.
That's your mom. Is she talking about the 92 game?
Yeah, I assume she is. Yeah.
Is she talking 92 game? Okay. I just wanted to ask. I wanted it up there. By the way, that's Coleman Scott's mom.
It is. It is. Lisa Marie Scott in the comments.
Hi, Coleman Scott.
Yeah, nice hat, Lisa.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's. I literally just got it. Got it yesterday.
It was a gift.
Like Christmas present. Well, yeah, I guess it's in between. My birthday's on the 17th, so it's a weird in between Christmas and what's a Christmas present, what's a birthday present. So this will be a early birthday present. But
so do we beat Alabama and Tennessee? Is basically the main question there.
Well,
I think we beat the next 4 games.
I think we beat LSU, and then it's at South Carolina. What's South Carolina's record? Because
we play at Alabama next after the LSU game.
Yeah.
Well, but is it at South Carolina?
No,
it's
they're 7-6. Yeah, it's at home.
Okay, then I think we beat LSU and South Carolina and Lexington. I think we go 2-2. I don't think we beat Alabama. I'm not comfortable saying we beat Alabama or Tennessee on the road.
We need to win one of those.
Well, we're not going to.
That's depressing.
Listen, the way we've played, unless we shoot lights out and play way better than we have played, I don't see it either, to be honest. Now, do we need to?
In January, the only games that matter, Alabama, Tennessee, and Kansas. So we need to win at least one of those.
Yeah, we got Alabama, we got Tennessee, we got Kansas.
I think the most likely out of all those that we win,
Kansas at Kentucky.
Yeah, Kansas is at home.
Yeah. Yep. And we're probably not going to win that one. I mean, we might. If we win out at home, though, I mean, what's the worst record you think we could have?
I'm going to tell you right now, after the game the other night, I mean, I know I've seen a couple of people like putting us at like 19-12 or 20-11. And, and you think, gosh, could that really happen? I mean, is that something that this team could, that could really happen? So I actually sat down and was looking at the SEC schedule. And I was looking at January schedule and I was looking at February schedule. So we have the Alabama and the Tennessee and the Kansas game. Mm-hmm. But we also play a tough home game against LSU. And
that's not a given.
To end the month, we go on the road to Mississippi. That's the last game in January. So that's 5 games in January that could possibly be we could struggle with and have losses.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you look at February. February, we have a home game against Arkansas.
Yep.
We play at Mississippi State. We play a home game against Tennessee and a home game against Auburn. That'll all be tough games. So that's 4 more. That's 9 games right there that is going to be tough. And then we end the year at Arkansas, March the 4th. So that is 10 games. That's 10 games.
How many conference games do we have?
There's 18. And we've already lost 1. So if we got 10 games, I mean, do we go 5-5 in those 10 games?
We could easily go 500 in the SEC, which would we make the tournament if we do that? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know either. You know, I think these 10 games that I just brought up are going to be the telltale sign. As of now, Kentucky has 0 quad 1 wins
Yep.
in basketball. 0.
Yeah, we don't have an NCAA resume right now. I mean, our best wins against Michigan.
So we have 10 games that I just mentioned to build something to get 3-5 wins out of. And
it's gonna be tough.
You know,
yep.
If we can do that, you know, if we could go 5-5 in those games and win the other games in the SEC and wind up being 10-6, since we already lost to Missouri, then I think that would be a pretty good improvement for what I've seen so far from this team, to be honest. Now, is that where Kentucky fans want us to be? Of course not. Is that where I want us to be? Of course not. I want to go through and win 9 out of those 10 games and blow the doors off everybody. That's what I want. And that's what Kentucky fans want. That's what, you know, we opened the show with the Matt Jones thing, you know, talking about expectations. And I'm sorry, you can't tout just how special this place is and how crazy the fans are. And you can't on Big Blue Madness come in your suit and tie and sit up there and have a State of the Union Big Blue Nation speech for 6-8 solid years.
To be fair, this year
row.
he said like 10 words.
Yes, but he done that for 6-8 years when everything was going good. Can't do that when everything's going good, and then turn it around and act like the fans shouldn't care when things are going bad. That was my point.
I mean, we were talking about on our show on Thursday some sort of catastrophic scenarios, and one catastrophic scenario was going to be if we lost to Louisville. I think another catastrophic scenario is if we don't make the NCAA tournament. And then I think the third catastrophic scenario is if we don't get to the second weekend in the tournament. Obviously, if we lose in the first round, but even if we lose in the second round, that's going to be like Cal's not going to be able to recover from that. We have to at least make the Sweet 16 this year to even for Cal to even like. I don't want to say not. You can't say not get fired. He's not going anywhere. But for Cal to even like be at least a little bit okay or on par with the fan base.
Well, the pressure is going to be on if we don't make the tournament.
Yeah,
I mean,
this would be
do y'all realize that we have 0 March Madness wins since 0?
Yeah, it's insane.
0.
Yeah. And one SEC tournament win against Vanderbilt.
Right.
Tubby didn't even make it that long with those records.
Nope.
No, it's not good. This is Kentucky basketball. We're not talking about, you're not coaching at Florida or Vandy or, I'm sorry. There's tons of other schools out there that, you can go 20-10 year in and year out, and they're going to be pretty happy with you. That's not Kentucky basketball. I mean, it's just not. Billy Gillespie, I want to throw this out. So before today's game, John Calipari was 43-28 in the last 71 games.
Okay.
That was a record. 43-28 in the last. That was 2 seasons plus the 12 games before today in this season. 71 games, his record 43-28. Billy Gillespie's record here was 40-27 in 2 years.
That reminds me of
He made the tournament one of those years, didn't he? One of those 2 years, too.
Yes. I mean, honestly, guys,
yeah.
that right there is a tell-all. I mean, you're talking he's got 3 more wins. Of course, 40 and 60 and 27 is only 67 games compared to 71 games that I was saying for the last 2+ years for Calipari. So he's got 4 more games. He's got 3 more wins, but 1 more loss.
Yeah.
Than Billy Gillespie.
Well, I just saw that St. Peter's in Kentucky, we talked about this stat, in their last 73 games, have the same record. St. Peter's and Kentucky do. And then Kentucky football, I guess they're even now, but Kentucky football had a higher winning percentage than Kentucky basketball in their last 75 games. So,
right.
Now it's the same. And I'm the biggest Kentucky football fan on the planet, but if you're Kentucky basketball, no, I remember John Calipari said when he first got here that Joe B. Hall told him, Coach, it's okay if you lose a game. It's 2 when people start getting on you when you lose 2 games. And that wasn't really an exaggeration. Yeah.
That is Joe B. Hall was telling the truth.
Yeah. And he also loved 1-3-1. Joe B. Hall loved playing zone. So
he did. I'm telling you, Joe B. Hall knew what he was doing. He had some struggles here. Joe B. Hall did at UK. He had a 13 and 13 year. Hall did.
So what was the difference? What was the difference last year in how were our margin of error was so crazy last year, where we could beat Tennessee, Kansas, and North Carolina by 30 and then lose to St. Peter's? What was the difference in those games? Was it just our shooting? It wasn't that we ran.
Okay, so I'm going to start it out with saying this. I believe, and this started somewhere around maybe the 18 season, somewhere around there, maybe. Every year when it comes tournament time, Calipari downplays the tournaments, downplays the SEC tournament, acts like he doesn't even be there. He relays that in almost every message that he speaks. Every time you see him, it's bound to fall on the team. And in my opinion, the last 3 years or so, when it came time, the team just hasn't. I mean, you look at the SEC tournament the last 3 or 4 years that we played, they hadn't been good. I mean, they can't even really win an SEC game. We got a struggle win last year against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we should have lost that game.
Yeah.
Yep. All these other guys that come in, it's just so frustrating. All these transfers that come in to Kentucky and don't play well here, and they play so well at the other schools.
I was thinking about that. Is Oscar the only transfer we've had that has played better at Kentucky than he did at his previous school? Would you count Davion Mintz, maybe?
I don't even know if I'd count Mintz. He's probably better at Creighton. I mean, he's probably more of a threat at Creighton. But yes, he does downplay it, Marcia says, and he's never prepared for the tournament. He underestimated St. Peter's as well as Purdue did also. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not like St. Peter's lost in the second round. I mean, they went to the Elite Eight. Is that right? St. Peter's did? Yeah, they did.
Made the Sweet 16. Yeah.
They beat Murray and Purdue, so they went to the Elite Eight. So it's not like, I mean, they beat some other guys too, right? It wasn't just us.
Right.
But still.
But they still shouldn't beat Kentucky basketball.
No.
If we're the
yeah.
Josh says he's made it to Texarkana, Texas. I bet they don't have as good a beer as the other place.
So, to me, forget all that stuff about downplaying tournaments and everything and get your guys prepared to play.
Mm-hmm.
Get your guys prepared to play. That's what I say.
Every game matters. Like, I mean, play every game like it's your last. Like, play every game with the energy. It felt like, I don't know if you guys agree with me, or if the people in the comments agree, but I think we played with a different kind of energy tonight than we have all season. I think we played harder today than we have all season. Maybe that's because they're pissed off after the last
since
game.
The Bahamas.
Yeah, since the Bahamas.
Or maybe it's just that Louisville was on the level of the Bahamas teams.
Yeah, that's true.
Y'all have any idea how like the whole Bahamas thing? I'm just so over the hype on some of this stuff. Show me the real. I want to beat the UCLAs. I want to beat the Dukes. I want to beat the North Carolinas. I want to beat the Kansas. Now you was talking. I mean, last year, because a whole lot of that is because of the way Keon Brooks played last year. But I mean, last year we whooped the, out of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas, and it was fun. I love that. I mean, honestly, it was fun. If I had to pick one game last year, I'd pick that game. If I had to pick one game that was the most fun to, it would be that game. I loved kicking the, out of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh yeah, that was fun, and Tennessee at home. I mean, that was great. The game where we kind of dedicated to Joby Hall. Looks like an article just came out here on KSR about Jacob Toppin. Kind of post game talked about how his mental state had hit rock bottom before this game. His just like confidence level and mental health. He said, "quote There was no bottom before this game." So Marshall was right. I mean, when it came to that, I mean, his confidence was shot. So looks like that played a factor in it. Well,
it takes a coach. First of all, it takes a coach that will allow a kid to read his confidence first.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, earlier we were talking about Damian Collins, and Damian Collins comes in and plays and makes a good play, okay, and then gets jerked out and never put back. So when confidence is already shot, then as a player, because I've been a player, as a player, you go in and think, well, even when I do something good, it's not good enough.
Yeah, Coleman and I have gone through the same kind of thing with Trumpet at times. It's still that same mental battle, I say, in a lot of ways with basketball.
Yeah, it's very music is a performance thing, and having to put yourself, I mean, your mental state, your confidence level is really big when it comes to performing. So it's the same way with sports, no doubt. But
you have to allow your players to develop, and they are going to go through some regression. They are going to have bad games. Not every time they touch the ball, they're going to do something spectacular. I mean, and you have to allow them to grow. Just like I'm saying with Damian Collins, when he comes in and makes a good play, I mean, okay, you took him out, but what is wrong with putting him back again a couple of more times for 3 minutes apiece? Give him 9 minutes in the game. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it just goes back to I don't know how you rationalize some of Calipari's coaching decisions, and I think he deserves criticism for it. I mean, and that's what he's acknowledging that even in his press conference, I think it was yesterday, he said that that criticism is a tax, quote unquote, that you pay when you come to Kentucky, that you just it's part of it. And the first comment I saw in the comment section of that was, well, Cal, you should be in prison for tax evasion. It's like, oh man, it's funny.
So
Yes,
Josh,
and Calipari.
yeah.
Yes, and Calipari's so bad in doing that. Yep, he is, but maybe it'll get better. Let's hope that in the new year, we just turn a new leaf and we win out, and the road to the championship starts here. So let's hope. That's all we can hope for.
Well, I mean,
Do y'all know
that is
that
the
Louisville
hope. I
had
mean,
Louisville had 5 total assists.
Oh wow,
We had 18. I just saw that. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
5 assists is pretty terrible for a whole team. I mean, that's pretty terrible.
I was looking. I was wait, is that just one half or what? But no.
So the third quarter in this TCU Michigan game is about over with.
Just looking at that, 34-22 TCU.
It's 34-22 TCU, and I was going to try to update the time.
I think 147 left in the
147. Sorry if y'all can hear that. I just turned on my iPad.
No worries. No,
I'll turn it down, but I just turned on my iPad. I've got Sling TV, so I can watch it wherever I want to. Most of this stuff. And I've just pulled up the game, so that's what I'm doing. It's 34-22. This is a national semifinal game that not a lot of people were giving TCU a real shot at. Most people thought that Michigan's defense was going to overpower them, and because Michigan's one of the better teams and defensive teams in the Big Ten and the best team, of course, they thought they would just kind of overpower them. And I'm going to be honest with you, and you two probably remember this because you wasn't born yet, probably. I'm not sure. Y'all remember the Leach years at all? Or y'all wasn't yet?
The Mike Leach?
When Leach was air raid? Yeah, Mike, when he was at UK?
Yeah. I wasn't watching Kentucky football yet, but I've know plenty about it, I guess.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because Sonny Dykes, the head coach of TCU, was working under Mike Leach. He was one of the offensive coaches at UK during those years. And he is now the head coach of TCU, and he runs Mike Leach's offense. That's the reason why they put up the points they do, and he runs a version of Mike Leach's Leach. I can't talk. His offense.
And so Josh Heupel at Tennessee.
Yes.
Mike Lee. I mean Lincoln Riley at USC.
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Sonny Dykes' offensive coordinator is Lincoln Riley's brother, Garrett Riley.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But no, I love
Lincoln Riley's brother.
When Mike Leach coached under Bob Stoops at Oklahoma, which comes pretty full circle for Kentucky football. But I love just watching the videos of when he was offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, and he was like, it just makes so much sense. He's like, we want to put these two guys we put like real fast guys out here on the side, and they just run down the field, and they'll either catch a pass or they'll spread out the defense. We got all this room here in the middle to work with. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes total sense to me. Why didn't anybody else think of it? We put real fast guys out here. Yeah, I just love how simple he is about it.
So I don't know if y'all paid attention, but TCU just dropped a bomb. I mean, run it up the gut.
Oh,
they just scored a touchdown.
No,
it's now going to be
yards.
40.
Looks like.
Yeah, it's going to be 41-22.
Well, it looks like TCU is going to move on. I don't know if Michigan has the high-powered offense. don't know if Michigan has the
Well,
high-powered offense to
they just
catch
kind
up.
of panned through the Michigan crowd, and they were all dejected, sitting like this. They looked like
Yeah.
this.
Do you think?
That's
I
going to
mean,
be
is there any chance that Ohio State beats Georgia?
Yeah, I think there's a chance. Ohio State has some really good pieces on their offense.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison Jr., in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the game. I know some Tennessee fans that would get mad because I said that with Hyatt, but I'm telling you, Marvin Harrison Jr., he's got that balance, and he can get his feet down even when he's out of bounds. And I mean, he's a really good, and they have two or three other wide receivers that have a running back that's good. So could they break a few plays against Georgia? Sure, it could happen. Do I expect it to happen against Georgia and their defense? No, I don't. But is it possible? Yeah, it's possible.
I'm just looking at the spread. It says Georgia by 5, 57% chance. So that's closer than I thought it would be.
It's going to be Georgia by 90.
Well, I think this Michigan TCU game, Michigan was favored 7.5, I believe, before the.
My logical brain says that Georgia's going to win the national championship, but my heart kind of wants TCU to win it at this point. Like, that'd be awesome.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of pulling for. Now,
yeah, I'm kind of pulling for TCU.
It's hard for me to say that I wouldn't pull for Georgia if it's Georgia and TCU.
Yeah.
I'm an SEC fan, true at heart, most of the time. There is one SEC team that I don't pull for.
Guess who that is.
There is one. Yeah, you got it, Cade. There is one. Now, I will say this. I picked them last night in the Orange Bowl because we do game day picks here for College Sportscast. So I did pick them last night. But as far as pulling for, I can't really do that. Sometimes you have to use your head over your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, is there any chance after Mark Stoops leaves? Well, I don't want to. I mean, we talk about replacements for John Calipari all the time, but I hope Mark Stoops stays here forever. But as far as replacements for Mark Stoops, whenever he does decide to move on, I think there's John Sumrall is somebody we should run after at Troy. I think that's pretty clear.
That's a no-brainer that we could go after.
You think there's
a few years ago I would have said Neil Brown at West Virginia, but I'm just not too sure about. I'm just not too sure about the job he's done there.
Well, you think there's a chance Sonny Dykes would ever come to Kentucky?
I don't know, but I really like Sonny Dykes.
Well, I mean, just coaching in the SEC, coming back to Kentucky. I mean, who knows?
What makes you say John Sumrall, Coleman?
Well, he was our linebackers coach, and he's just a heck, under Stoops, and he's a heck of a coach. He's turned Troy. I mean, Troy's going to be ranked probably in the top 20,
15, maybe top 15, maybe
in the final rankings. I mean, he just comes to Troy in his first year as a head coach and
12-2,
just kills it. Yeah, and he's a hard-nosed, like he's a Mark Stoops type coach, just hard-nosed, kind of good old-fashioned football coach. So, yeah. I would love him. He's a fan favorite, too. Like, it would be a home run hire. Then while we're at it, I think Dwayne Peavy will probably be our next athletic director after Mitch Barnhart decides.
How long has Peavy been here already? Peavy's been in the UK forever.
Well, he's at DePaul now, I think.
Oh, is he?
He's the athletic director at DePaul.
Yeah.
He's been there a couple years. Yeah.
When he was with UK, that's whenever
Oh.
we were in our golden years.
Yeah.
He was at UK for a long time.
Yeah, he was.
Peavy was.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he'll be the next athletic director. So I'm sure.
So Michigan, before the third quarter ended, it's under review for a score with 9 seconds left in the third quarter. That's how quick.
Well, hey, Clyde loves these ESPN percentage picks or win probability percentages. He's always posting those on his Facebook page. Looks like TCU has 92.8% chance to win right now. So it's going to be hard for Michigan to overcome. But
Got it down to the 1. The play was reversed. It was originally called a touchdown. Spotted it at the 1, but they're going to punch it in. Yeah, they just punched it in.
Hey, with these,
but again, that's before.
With these playoff games, I just want to see good football. I don't really care who wins. I just want to see good football games. One of the best football games that I've ever watched is the Georgia-Oklahoma Rose Bowl a couple years ago. I don't know if you remember that game, Brad.
Yeah.
That was a really good football game. And then the best football game I've ever watched, I made a post about this the other day, is 2007 Fiesta Bowl, Boise State in Oklahoma. Was the most insane football game I've ever seen. I mean, that was just the back and forth. I think Oklahoma was up like 14 with less than a minute left or something, and then Boise State came back and tied it somehow. Like, just crazy football game.
Right.
And Bob Stoops was coaching Oklahoma that game. So
right. Yeah, Stoops was there a long time. So Michigan doesn't look like they're going to give up. It's now 41 to. Did they go for 2? Yeah, they went for 2.
41 to 30. Yeah, that's right. They must have gotten it. Go Blue.
Yeah, 2 and got it. Yeah.
So it's the Michigan football team
41-30.
Up in Michigan this summer, I ran into the Michigan football team. I was up at those. There's these sand dunes up in northern Michigan that are for everybody. It's like a national park. Everybody goes to see them. You can walk up and down the sand dunes, but it takes you a long time because it's a sand steep. But I think they were pretty much like working out, like running up and down them up there. And so the whole Michigan football team was there. It's kind of cool to see them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Didn't
cool.
see John Harbaugh, but I saw that running back that plays for Michigan. I forget his name, but he's so famous. So if they can run up and down those sand dunes, I think they can run it up and down TCU too. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They're preparing.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well,
so what'd y'all think about the Sugar Bowl real quick? Bama put it on Kansas State today in the Sugar Bowl.
Money, it looks like.
I was going to say that the committee messed up by putting TCU in over Bama.
Justin
But now I'm not
Bartels
so
would
sure.
agree with you. That's a
I did text Justin Bartels. I said, Justin, they messed up, but I guess they didn't. I don't know. But, I mean, it goes to show because Alabama didn't have any opt-outs. Bryce Young, these guys played in their bowl game.
5 touchdowns.
I would say these top 4 teams in the playoffs probably don't have any opt-outs either, probably.
Ohio State does. Some people, I think Ohio State had at least 2 people that opted out.
Oh,
which
really?
blows my mind.
Are
How
you
could
serious?
you opt out of the playoff? Yeah, I forget what positions, but they were prominent players. I saw it all over
That's
ESPN.
crazy.
Can you imagine if Anthony Davis opted out of the championship game?
Yeah, I'm going to focus on my NBA
I mean, that's
career.
just crazy. Get all the way to the Final Four and then opt out.
Yeah.
In basketball. I mean, just imagine.
Opt out. I'm just going to opt out of my job today. I'm not going to go in. I'm just going to opt out.
That's why we need KPIs. Coleman.
Yeah, we do. Full circle.
Wow. Michigan just picked up a fumble, and there was 3 seconds on the clock. They had
3 seconds left.
They had to run play to finish the quarter, and they fumbled.
Man, I got to watch this game.
Got it. Yep, it's going to be a good one. So the fourth quarter's fixed to come on, the semifinal game, and then after this, of course, Georgia and Ohio State play in the other semifinal championship game. So it should be a fun night of football. and we appreciate you getting on with us, chatting, calls. We've kind of had a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Again, we've been on for 2 hours, guys. Does it seem like we've been sitting here for 2 hours?
Time flies when you're having fun. No.
Yeah, has
It does.
John Hammonds ever gotten that link?
Yeah, has John ever found a link? Yeah.
He
He's just not
said
getting
something about he's
I
he
guess
said
gave
something
up.
about his internet had down for a minute or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Once the show starts, I don't think I can go in there and do that. So I'm supposed to do it before. Anyway, I
Well,
figured
we'll have
he'd
to have
call
you. We'll have to have you
and
guys
gripe.
on. We'll have to have both you and John on our show too. We'll have to do this again soon for something.
Maybe our next bracket or something.
All right, yeah, our next bracket. Yeah, we'll have to do a. I thought of something good for a bracket. I think the funniest free throws of all time bracket would be a good one.
bunch
Like
of,
putting Perry
granny
Stevenson.
shots and
Perry
air
Stevenson's
balls.
block free throw in there. That's got to be on there. And the one that the North Carolina fans started singing, "I came in like a wrecking ball," and the guy misses it. And yeah, there's some good ones out there. There's that one, the Kansas player airballed. That's really good. There's some good free throws out there. I think that'd be a good bracket to do. So, but
I was
hey,
thinking
yeah,
more
no,
lines of like Rick Barry underhanded or something.
Oh, those too. There was that Louisville player a couple years ago that shot underhanded free throws, which is just another one of the many reasons you can make fun of Louisville. But
another reason is that they only had 5 assists today. So
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
no, this has
pretty bad.
This has been great. And yeah, we'll have to have you guys on soon too. And yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, so it's New Year's Eve, College Sportscast and Talkin Kentucky. Want to wish everybody a happy and safe New Year's.
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah, have fun, but be safe.
What's your New Year's resolution, Brad?
Gosh, I try my best not to do New Year's resolutions, just because they don't usually 3 weeks later people forget about them.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the gyms to be full for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. It takes about 2-3 weeks, and then everybody's like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. Not too hard.
Yeah. So
you don't have one.
I got one for Kentucky basketball to win a tournament game.
There you go. That's a good New Year's resolution. You can't control that.
That would be a pretty good one.
Go shoot some free throws for him.
Yeah.
With my eyes closed, probably.
Yeah.
No, I'm not Michael Jordan. But.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Well, hey, close your eyes and do it. Heck yeah.
That's another one that can be on there. The Michael Jordan eyes closed free throw. Throw that on the bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Well, hey, it's been fun. And yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. And happy get out of 2022 into 2023. Hope it's a better year for all of us, and especially for Kentucky basketball and football. Hopefully we can change some things around, and it'll be a good year for the Cats. Happy Blue Year, as Clyde would say. So.
I say that too, actually. I've been saying Happy Blue Year for a long time. So Happy New Year to everybody. Caden, Coleman, I appreciate y'all coming on with me and doing this and having a little fun with me tonight. Honestly, I just got to talking. I didn't even on 2 hours, to be honest. So until I looked at it, but
hey, it was. No, our episodes have been going about that long because we just once we get to talking, have all these people in the comments. Yeah, it's great. So
wow, before we get off there, Michigan just scored another touchdown in 47 seconds. And they're going for 2 right now and got it. It is 41-38.
Wow.
I think Michigan fans should thank us because once we started talking about this game, Michigan scored like 7 touchdowns. So,
Wow. I mean, and these teams they're scoring in like 40 seconds.
yeah. I know as soon as we get off here, TCU is going to go off and win the game.
I will.
Yeah, I mean, golly. Okay. At this rate, it's going to be like 77 to 74 at the end of the game.
Yeah. It's going to be a Mike Leach score. No defense.
Yep. All right, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to end this up. Have a happy and safe New Year. And we will see you on Tuesday for our show. I think Coleman Caden will be on Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, we'll see you on Thursday for our show. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. So feel free to check both our stuff out. You know, we're on everything you can imagine. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter. You know, find us and follow us if you like us.
TalkinKentucky.wordpress.com.
Yeah, there's the website. Yeah.
Well, we're on Linktree, and all of our stuff is in one spot on Linktree College Sportscast. You can find us there, and we have a TikTok, and I do a little bit of everything, to be honest with you.
TikTok, woman.
Yeah, we need to get a TikTok. We do some dances.
I do. I started a TikTok.
You throwing a football, me shooting free throws, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
that clip that you have football, that'd be a good TikTok.
That would be a good TikTok. That'd take off. Yeah, man. If I were a few years younger, I probably could have gotten a scholarship off that clip.
All right, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Catch y'all later.
Brad.